Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 29th of March going through until Sunday the 4th of April 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm filming this video on Sunday the 28th of March, and we have a full moon in Libra happening on this day. It's a really empowering energy. I've made a separate video on this full moon, so check that out if you're interested. And I mentioned this in the video itself. The energy starts on Saturday the 27th, it reaches its peak on Sunday the 28th, and it extends itself into Monday the 29th of March here. The moon is still in Libra on Monday, so that energy is accessible to you. And the whole point of these readings is to look at where the positive energies are, how you can align yourself with those energies and kind of ride them like a wave, and to avoid the things that are difficult and where you're not going to get anywhere. And this full moon in Libra is really positive, so have a look at the video. I'm going to give you a rundown of what is going on each day this week, and to do the same thing to see where the opportunities lie, how the planets interact with one another, what energy they bring up, and how you can use that to your advantage. So let's start with Monday the 29th of March. We've got the Sun in Aries conjuncting Chiron in Aries. So there's a great focus on the self, personal healing, and you're confident in fulfilling your own needs, desires, and pursuing the things that you care about. Mercury in Pisces conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. So both the communication planet and the planet of hopes and dreams are in the water sign of Pisces. So you're very much connected to the unmanifest, the spiritual side of things. If you are psychic, intuitive, or you work creatively, you're really going to be on top of your game because you're able to access that unmanifest realm of everything that could be very easily. The moon is in Libra, so you still got that kind of ethereal, otherworldly sense of balance within. It squares Pluto in Capricorn, and it trines Mars in Gemini and Jupiter in Aquarius. That's really interesting because your emotional certainty is going to urge you to make practical changes in your life. You feel super empowered. You're authentic, you really want to speak your truth, and at the same time you've got a great appreciation for the wisdom of other people, or the collective wisdom that you can learn from other people, that they can help you and you can help them. So you're really service oriented, and you're focused on fulfilling and meeting your own needs. So there's a wonderful kind of balance on Monday the 29th, which allows you to do really well in lots of different areas. You have great energy and drive and purpose. Your imagination is fired, and it gives you this wonderful optimistic outlook for the future and makes you feel like the world is your oyster. Anything is possible. Your relationships are in a good place, and if you're in a bind or you're struggling a bit and you need support from friends or family, either emotional support or financial support, it's a really good day to ask for help, to receive that help, and to actually accept it. Most people don't like to ask for help. A lot of people feel it's a sign of weakness. And if you feel that, it's a really good day to look at your situation objectively and to say, do you know what? I could actually do with some support here. There's no shame in it. Everyone needs help and support at some point in their life. And if I'm struggling today, I might as well ask, because the odds of you receiving help are really high. And on the flip side, if someone asks you for help, you're very likely to give it. Your creativity is fired up, and therefore anyone working intuitively or creatively will really find it easy to meet work targets or to set your own goals at work and to achieve those goals. On Tuesday the 30th of March, we've got the moon entering Scorpio. So now you have a lot more water in the chart. Your intuition gets even stronger, and you're able to put your finger on things that are usually hidden from you. So you may understand certain relationships much better. If someone tells you something, but you feel that that doesn't match with the energy between you, you're really going to pick up on that kind of thing and be very certain about your truth and what the situation really is. So if you're prone to being gaslit by other people, that goes out the window, and you're completely certain about what you're feeling and what the real situation is. Now that's a double-edged sword, make sure that you check that with facts and with experience, and don't just go off your feelings. But it certainly is wonderful that you really own your truth and you're not willing to budge from that. So just double check that that truth is accurate. The Scorpio moon opposes Uranus and Taurus. So again, this desire that I want to change my life based on my feelings. It squares Saturn in Aquarius, quincunxes Chiron in Aries, the Sun in Aries and Venus in Aries. So we've got a lot of energy there. You continue to have an appreciation for other people, and you recognize that there is a lot that you can learn from others. But you also realize that if you're giving help and if you're being supportive, that certain people could do things for themselves. And you start to add criteria to your help. So, okay, I'm willing to be there for you and to support you, but if I feel that you actually have the skills and experience to do this for yourself, then I'm not going to be as willing to do it for you. So with that said, if you're asking for help or if you're giving help, do it on Monday, because it's going to be much easier than on Tuesday. On Tuesday, you kind of have to qualify for help. On Monday, it's just freely given and you give it freely as well. The Aries energy with the Sun and Venus and Chiron strengthens your resolve and your focus on the self, and it says, I want to pursue the things I love. My desires are really, really important, and if I pursue those things, it will heal me, it will make me feel good. Venus in Aries sextiles Saturn in Aquarius, and that aspect really encapsulates everything that's been going on so far. Venus is the personal planet of love and beauty and creativity. In Aries, it says, if I pursue what I love and if I'm creative, if I express myself, if I do my own thing, then I will bring love into my life. The sextile with Saturn in Aquarius, yes, other people have great knowledge, yes, other people have rules, they're there for a reason, and I appreciate that and I can work within that. But I also need to look for myself, and I need to look out for me and what I'm doing, and I can't just dismiss myself for the sake of other people. So you're at no risk of being codependent. You can be really, really productive. You can be really helpful. But if the rules and restrictions get too much, you may bristle against those a little bit and say, no, actually, no, thank you. So feelings deepen on Tuesday. And if something goes wrong, you may develop a sense of suspicion, like other people did this to you deliberately. So before you jump to conclusions or you blame other people, look at your part in the situation first. Because if you do that, you'll start to see a pattern in what's going on, and you can actually resolve that pattern and take some accountability and responsibility for it. And by doing that, you're less likely to blame other people, to be resentful or angry at others, and to be more productive in resolving things. Remember the golden rule: if you don't want to be shredded with criticism, don't do it to other people. And try and avoid extreme reactions. What I put here is that if someone says the wrong thing to you on Tuesday, or if you feel like you've been insulted, there's really the potential to cancel a relationship altogether, to cut someone out of your life completely. Now, you know, and I know, that we don't always say the right thing. That even if you're thinking something, if you're supportive, or if you want to give a compliment, sometimes it comes out wrong and the other person takes it badly, and it's like, oh, what just happened? That wasn't my intention at all. So you know that you do it yourself. Try and give other people the benefit of the doubt on Tuesday. And certainly, if you find yourself bringing down the guillotine and saying, that is it, just look at that and say, is this a little bit extreme? Is it right that I should end a 20-year relationship over one remark? And that's a rhetorical question. The answer is no. Wednesday, the 31st of March, we have the Sun in Aries forming a sextile with Saturn in Aquarius. So a similar vibe in the sense that I have to look after myself and what I'm doing, but other people may have something to contribute. I still need to stick to the rules, and I can achieve a lot within that framework. It's okay. The Scorpio moon squares Jupiter in Aquarius. So an appreciation, similarly for your own feelings and the feelings of others. It trines Neptune and Mercury in Pisces. So the imaginative, intuitive, and psychic side of things is really, really strong. I have to say, anyone who works in that field as a healer or as an intuitive or a channel, the first 3 days of the week are really fabulous for that kind of work, and for all creative types, because those two areas are very, very closely tied. If you want to be creative, that inspiration comes from somewhere, right? The muse is whispering into your ears. So if you're already connected to those kind of realms, it's much easier for you to hear that. And if you are intuitive, sometimes the messages that you get for other people about certain situations either come up as images that you then have to get creative about and decode, or feelings that you have to decode. They work hand in hand. So just be aware that that's really, really supported in the first 3 days. And the Scorpio moon also sextiles Pluto and Capricorn. So again, the message comes again and again and again that you're going to be very willing to make real life changes based on your feelings. So it's almost like there's no telling you. If you feel it to be true, that's the end of it. So on the one side, if you're codependent and if you're easily influenced, then that's wonderful. But if you have a tendency to cut people off and not to even enter discussions where there should be a discussion, you're not going to be any more willing to listen and to be patient. So try and find a middle ground within that. On Wednesday, you feel much more settled internally, and there's less pressure and you feel less disconnected. In fact, if you look around and if you engage with the world, you may read or hear something that really inspires you to start your own project. So for instance, a newspaper article that can be expanded into a book, or a conversation that turns into a piece of art, or a conversation that makes you realize that, wow, I love this person and I want to marry them. You know, feelings, certainty, and then actions based on those feelings. You'll find it easy to be inspired by other people, but at the same time, your critical faculties are still switched on. So it's similar to earlier in the week. Use those insights on yourself and what you're doing and the intuitive and creative process. Don't use it to go overboard and to cancel other people out of your life. Moving on to Thursday, the 1st of April, the new month, we've got the moon going into Sagittarius. So we've got the new month and we've got a completely different energy. The moon in Sagittarius is in the element of fire. It's about what is out there and what you can explore. It's about independence and travel and excitement and fun. The Sagittarius moon trines Chiron, the Sun and Venus in Aries, another fire sign. So we're really lit up here on the 1st of April, and it gives you great energy without the emotional crunchiness, so to speak, without the kind of push and pull that you've been feeling so far. With that said as well, the intuition and stuff isn't going to be so accessible because you're now much more interested in the real world and what you can do to have fun. Should I go for a walk or run and see some sights? It's that kind of energy. However, the saving grace and what still puts the intuition into this chart on Thursday is Mercury is still in Pisces. So you can get imaginative and creative easily. And again, it sextiles Pluto and Capricorn. And what I find so interesting about this week is that all the watery signs and all the watery energy connects with an outer energy that urges you to cement those feelings into your real life. Like that example I said, if I realize I love this person, I want to marry them, the whole week so far that I've looked at is all about that. So if there are major changes in your life, check if they're based on your feelings. Because if that's the case, that's a check mark that you should continue. If other people have decided for you and you don't want to do these things, but you've agreed and compromised, then that's a big cross in the checkbox that says, don't do it, look at this again. Don't let yourself be bulldozed into doing things that you don't want to do. So with that shift into fire, the moon moving into Sagittarius, you become less productive in terms of work, and the focus shifts to having fun, to traveling, to exercising, and to socializing. You're able to shift gears internally, but you're not out of the woods completely. the peace that you feel and the sense of the future and what I can do, it's incredibly fragile because you're just kind of growing into it. If you find yourself in hot water with other people or some sort of circumstance at work or in the home that's problematic for you, and if you feel this sense of suspicion again that you had earlier in the week, then you may decide to completely blow up on Thursday, the 1st of April, in an attempt to take everyone else down with you. It's really over the top. It's really intense. And I do these weekly horoscopes every week. Surprise, surprise. And I don't often say things like that. I don't say that, Thursday, please watch out for blowing your top because the potential is there for you to go nuclear. I don't say that often. So I really mean that on Thursday, the 1st of April, you can really have a great time. But if you're constantly being contradicted or you feel like you're being victimized, you're not going to take that lying down. You're going to be like a caged animal saying, I am not accepting this. No. So if you do have conflict, I mean, try and manage the day to surround yourself with people and places and things that you actually enjoy and that aren't going to drive you up the wall with anger. But if you don't have the luxury of doing that, like for instance, if you have to go to work and you don't get on well with your boss, then really just be aware that the potential is there for you to blow up and to say, I have had it. I am not going to bite my tongue anymore. That time has passed. I'm speaking my truth, and if everything blows to smithereens, then so be it. So you're really fatalistic potentially on Thursday, the 1st of April, and we all know that can end badly. Like, okay, you've told your boss what you think of him, but then afterwards, you don't just not have a job on that day, you also don't have a job the next day, and you're going to have to do something about it. So don't sabotage yourself through anger on Thursday the 1st. Friday, the 2nd of April, Good Friday, if you celebrate that, it's a Christian holiday, yeah. By the way, Easter is my favorite holiday. I love Easter. I prefer Easter to Christmas. I just love the whole rebirth thing of Easter. Like the fact that it doesn't matter what happens to you, that you can go through the absolute worst things that there's no coming back from, and through some sort of otherworldly power, the impossible can be achieved, and you can transcend all of it and rise above whatever happens to you. And the amazing thing that I love about Easter is it doesn't matter how other people blemish you or how life blemishes you. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. There's a part of you that resides in this wonderful spiritual truth, and it can do the impossible and it can do the miraculous, and that is a constant within you. And I love Easter for reminding us of that, or illustrating it to begin with, that we're not these bodies and the things that happen to us and the way other people define us or the stories that are told about us. We are the potential within that we can kind of sense, and that leads us toward more good in our lives. Okay, deep breath. All right, so Friday the 2nd of April, the moon is still in Sagittarius, so fun, let's go. Squares Neptune in Pisces and Mercury in Pisces. That's lovely because that allows you to gallop off into your imagination completely. So you're kind of like in this little fantasy bubble today. You can find yourself operating in fantasy land. And that's fun. Sometimes it's nice to be in fantasy land. It's not very practical, but it makes you feel good. And here you're able to explore all of these dreams and hopes, and it really allows you to get in touch with yourself, which is great. The Sagittarius moon opposes Mars in Gemini. It trines Venus in Aries. And Mercury in Pisces still sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. So the same vibe of my feelings should make a change in the real world. I get to speak my truth. What I love and what I want is what I get. I am entitled to all good things. So again, you're not particularly crippled with self-doubt or asking for permission or waiting for it. You're really certain about what it is you want, what you enjoy, and how to go about having a fabulous day. So with all of that focus on you and your feelings, if things are difficult, you may have the desire to escape and to check out for a little bit and to take a break. it is a good day to wind down and to relax and to really do something nice for yourself that you enjoy. It may be somewhat challenging because at the same time the potential for love is in the air, and you may come across someone or a thing or a place that you absolutely fall in love with, and it'll be invigorating. However, because the energy is very fragile, keep an energy on your mood. Let's say there is something that you absolutely fall in love with and you go after it and you get rejected. That is not going to go down very well, even if you are good with rejection. It's going to have, usually if that would put you at a -3 in terms of the way you feel emotionally, I've been rejected, okay, I feel worse, and it'll take me a bit of time and I'll get back up to 0. If it's usually a -3, you'll be at -5. On the flip side, if you do find something you love and you pursue that, if getting what you want gives you a 3, a +3, then today you'll be even happier and it'll be a +5. So the emotions are heightened, so just be aware of that, because this nuclear blow-up energy is still really there, and you don't want to overreact and go to extremes, because you're the one who's going to have to pay the emotional price. So just try and look at things more reasonably, and take care of your emotions. That's really your main job today. There's a lot going on that could make you react in a big way, and I don't know about you, but I don't like being angry or irritated. It exhausts me. So try and manage those feelings and put yourself in situations and look at them in a way that's more self-disciplined. Throwing a fit today isn't going to get you what you want anyway, so you may as well save yourself the emotional drama. Saturday the 3rd of April, we've got Mercury going into Aries. So Mercury, the communication planet, is now in spring with the rest of these planets and energies. So the communication planet is focused on you and what you want and what really builds you up, rather than sussing out the unmanifest and what could be. It's very much about what's next, what are we doing, what are the problems, and how can we overcome them. So it's more of a real world energy, and you're thinking along the real world things, practical matters, bills, schedules, routines, children, all of that stuff becomes more real. So you kind of leave fantasy land now and you are back on planet Earth. All right. The moon goes into Capricorn. The moon in Capricorn, I've got a moon in Capricorn in my chart. The moon is what gives you this sense of ease and comfort. And the Capricorn moon says you will be comfortable if you work. If you work, don't take a break, just work. And it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're busy and working. So that now kind of drives you a little bit. It pushes you. But with the Mercury in Aries, it's a nice combo because you're already in that space, reality. And the Capricorn moon actually allows you to get things done. Bam, 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 you're super productive. Similar to the beginning of the week now, because the beginning of the week is great energy and drive, and then you kind of move into this fantasy bubble with difficult relationships, and here at the end of the weekend, you're now back in work mode, and it's like, okay, what can I get done? The Capricorn moon trines Uranus and Taurus, so now the things that you work on will have an unexpected outcome. Rather than making decisions based on your feelings, you now create opportunities for yourself based on actual work. So results lead to more results. And it squares Chiron in Aries, and that is genuinely healing. Because if you achieve something on Saturday, either in your work or you structure something more effectively in your personal life, you're going to be like, yes, I did it. Well done, me. And that gives you a real sense of pride, and you can relax. Because the moon in Capricorn wants you to achieve something, and you only get to stop working when you've done something marvelous. It really puts the expectation up there, and it's somewhat difficult to satisfy. But you will satisfy it on Saturday. And because of all of that, it's kind of chicken or the egg. You're much less sensitive on Saturday. You're more resilient emotionally. You could say that's why you're more productive, or you're more productive, so you're less vulnerable emotionally and you're less in your feelings. Either way, you'll be able to get more done, and the emotional fallout isn't such a danger. Work becomes a big focus. Whether you're employed or retired or a student, what is it that you're working on? You'll be able to see, this is what I want to work on because I enjoy it. If you're in a job you've outgrown, you're going to feel a huge push from the universe to find your true path. You may also outgrow a particular lifestyle, connection to a place, or you may feel like I have outgrown this addiction, and suddenly this hold that it's had over you, the grip lets go, and you feel like, oh, I've got an option here, I've got a window to do something about this pattern or this addiction or this relationship. Whereas before, I was just a slave to it, and I was forced to continue with it. Something really opens up on Saturday. And it's interesting that this falls on Easter, Saturday, because it's really about rebirth. It's about letting go of things that have enslaved you and held you down and oppressed you, and now freeing yourself from those to live a completely different life. And I can't underline enough how life-changing that is. Like for instance, with recovery and addiction, every recovery has to start with the first minute where you decide to not have a drink anymore or not smoke a cigarette or whatever it is. And those first minutes and hours and days feel very precarious, because it's like, am I going to relapse? Am I just suffering for no reason because I'm not gonna make it anyway, so should I even bother? And the faith that's required to continue on that path is really significant. And you've got that in yourself on Saturday. So a round of applause. So if you are addicted to things, or if you are in a situation in your life that you know is really harmful to you, but you haven't been able to let go of it yet, don't blame yourself for it. We've all been there. It's part of... Yeah, there's no point in judging that as good or bad. It just is. The only thing you can do with it is to say, do I want to continue being with it, or do I want to transform it and change? And on Saturday, you'll really say, I have the courage to change. I don't need this anymore. I've outgrown it. Bye. And that's the best way to end something, when you do it for yourself, by naturally outgrowing it. I mean, it's certainly a lot better than landing in rehab, you know? Okay. Sunday, the 4th of April, Easter Sunday, we've got the Capricorn moon squaring the Sun and Venus in Aries. So wow, you can really pave the way on this new path that you're on. I'm getting like a garden, and you're putting down little stones to get to the shed so you can avoid all the muddy bits. Very straightforward. It quincunxes Mars in Gemini. So you're still very authentic and in your truth, and that's pretty exceptional. And it sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So Sunday is a day where everything in the week is combined. The imagination and intuition is fired. Your authenticity and personal strength and confidence is still there. You still want to go after what you want. You feel empowered. You see the wisdom in other people. You want to help other people. And you have the ability to work at getting somewhere in all those areas. No pressure. So Sunday, you can be very, very busy. So not just in terms of the Christian holiday, Easter, but in terms of the astrology, this is a rebirth. What's the word for... No, the transubstantiation is when they say the wine and those little wafer things are the blood and the body of Christ. Yes. The ascension is when that's like a few days after Easter, when he goes up. Is it 40 days after? I'm sorry, I'm not very... but it's a transformation, isn't it? Transcendence? Ultimately, the point is that you leave something behind. It leaves you unblemished, and you can rise above it in a way that is beyond miraculous. But at the same time, you know what you want in future, and you can translate that into appropriate steps, practical steps that you can start to take on Sunday, the 4th of April. It's a good day for job hunting in that sense, and for sending applications. You see what you like, you can go after it, take the practical action steps to get it. Your creativity is also fired up today, so if you're a teacher or writer, lesson plans or novel outlines or manuscripts will be easy to work on. And ultimately, there's a sense of the new year and being given the opportunity to start over. And like we had the sense that the world is my oyster at the beginning of the week, on Sunday the 4th of April, you really feel that in your bones. I don't have to be the person I have been. I can be someone else. Or I can transform myself into becoming the person I want to be. Not that there's anything wrong with you as you are now, and it's important to accept yourself as you are now if you actually want to move ahead, but it's just kind of like shedding your skin and saying, I don't need this anymore, I've outgrown it. The new, the better, the shiny. Really positive. I love this week. I love it. And we started with this amazing full moon in Libra, and it just goes from there. So have a fabulous time. If you have any questions about what's going on in your life, if you have questions about your relationship or what you should be doing work-wise or what's coming up in future or where the best place is for you to live, and you're not quite certain about that, then please get in touch with me for a personal reading via gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading, and in those sessions I use astrology, tarot and numerology. The astrology, I draw up your birth chart, and that shows me the answers to all those questions. I can read them off the chart. It's amazing, and that's why astrology is such a wonderful tool. So if you do have questions about that, please do get in touch with me, and we'll look at that together. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online, please. Have a wonderful week. Check out the video on the full moon in Libra, and I'll speak to you for the daily tarot readings, the special astrology videos that I do, and these weekly horoscopes and all the other videos I do. Have a wonderful time, and I'll speak to you soon.